XCOM as well. That was very underwhelming.
We're live, right? Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Smoke weed every day until you can no more.
High, yeah. Yes.
Yeah? Everything's good?
Yeah.
Cool. The game volume is going to be super low, so it doesn't matter too much for a conversation. So, hello everybody. It's we're back. Jack and Papu without the Jack. He'll be in later. But with Bacon Keldrum. Loplo. How you doing, man? Everything good, Alice Clow, right?
Sure, yes. Within acceptable parameters.
Within acceptable parameters.
Yes.
Well, that's relative, isn't it?
Yes.
Up to fluctuation. Alright. TBD. We'll see. Not relevant to today's conversation.
No.
The parameters, you being well, is absolutely relevant to everyday's conversation, at least to me. So,
How
let's
are
talk
you?
about E3.
Also acceptable within parameters?
Acceptable within reasonable parameters, which are not open to discussion nor consensus by quorum, but entirely up to me. But yes, we're fully operational. Alright.
Awesome.
Lolo, my boy, you were talking about Square Enix.
Oh yeah, so far both Square Enix and Capcom's presentation were type of presentations that I'm like, why the fuck did you spend money on E3 and not just skip the event if you don't have anything of substance to show?
Right. On that note, actually not a few months ago, we did that, we were talking about, I think it was Beyond Good and Evil 2, or another upcoming game on one of the podcasts, which is developed by THQ Nordic.
Is a unicorn
right?
by this point.
Yeah, but
everyone
it's
enjoys
THQ,
the
right?
concept, but everyone knows that it doesn't exist.
Is it THQ?
No,
It is, right?
Beyond Good and Evil,
No.
it's Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft. Yeah, of course it's Ubisoft. No, who was it? I don't remember anymore. We're talking about a game.
Something
Anyway,
else?
But
Okay.
yeah, something else. But I said it wasn't I was talking about the Avengers. You know that I was worried about any future games from THQ Nordic. But the Avengers was not developed by THQ Nordic. I made a mistake. It's
Square
I'm so
Enix.
dumb. It's Square Enix. Yeah, I confuse Square
Oh,
Enix and
Guardians of
THQ
the
Nordic
Galaxy
often.
had an interesting presentation. Speaking of
Yeah, that's what I
Square
was
Enix.
going
But
to talk about later.
yeah.
But go ahead. How do you feel about it?
It looks nice, but I've just played too many games looking like it. And there are already too many games on my bucket list for it to make an entrance. Like that is the type of game I would only buy X amount of time after release for a very big sale, like a 50% sale. But that's
50?
just me, like personally. Like
No,
maybe
more than that.
somebody
50%.
else
That means you'll pay
would,
$30.
True, I was thinking higher, yeah. So I guess 70 to 80%.
Yeah. I think it should be free to play. Like, I think a game like The Avengers, because it's so grind heavy and so depending on
Guardians of the Galaxy
microtransactions
seems
and
slightly
repetitive.
Although
Yeah,
the
but I
first
think they will
presentation
use
of
the
the
same engine
Avengers
probably.
was also misleading. So it could be that the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
is the same applesauce type of thing.
I'm only slightly curious about Guardians of the Galaxy.
It
If
seems
they make
very
it a narrative
enjoyable,
thing,
actually. Like I can see
sure.
that the fantasy of being like in the team. It had some decent, like enjoyable moments.
But for how many hours would
Yeah.
you play something like that?
That's
For
the
example,
thing, yeah.
because the Avengers look boring to me. Like, it looks like it's probably exciting to play the first couple of hours with every character or whatever, but then actually evolving it and doing the things that you want to do with that character because you're locked skill level and shit.
Sure.
Then what can you do? you know?
Yeah.
You just get bored quick,
Yeah.
and that's a pity.
Yeah.
Especially, I'll put the comic book nerd shit aside on my end, but even just within the cinematic universe, it's untapped potential, right?
What,
So
Guardians of the Galaxy?
even if they, yeah, or the Avengers, if they decide to make a decent video game with it.
Sure.
Because in that sense, for me, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, not Ultimate Alliance, the
Yeah, Ultimate
Marvel
Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance, yeah, 1 and 2.
The
3, I don't know.
top-down
Yeah, exactly.
beat 'em all, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. At least
I have the third one
story-wise
for the
and
Nintendo Switch,
and
so
all that
was
stuff,
quite
they were
enjoyable. Yeah.
they were cool. Story-wise, they approached the characters the right way, but it's the comic book stuff. But here it feels like they used more the Ultimate Marvel version of the Avengers for this one.
Sure.
With a mix of like the feel of the movies, right?
Sure.
And
Oh yeah, very much.
But
so,
then
yeah.
the story lacks so much depth. Like it's okay, but they could have done better. You can tell that stuff's been, vetoed and
I have
vetted
no
by
idea what
people
the
in so
story
many
is
suits, and
for
it's about
Square
this
Enix's
young
Avengers.
girl who finds out she has powers or something.
Kamala Khan.
I read it,
Kamala
I was like,
Khan
meh.
is already
Yeah.
like a pretty well-established character in the comics. No?
Not a big deal, no.
Oh, I was under the impression that in contemporary comic book circles, like for the past 8 to 5 years, she became like a somewhat
I don't know
popular,
if it's. If it is, it's only in very recent times.
yeah, 8 to 5
Because
years.
okay, even 8 years ago, I was following and there wasn't much going on Kamala Khan wise. Maybe the last 5 years. That's when I stopped paying attention to
Okay.
that. Not by choice, but because there's I couldn't buy the comics, couldn't get my hands on them.
Sure.
But I think that they could have done better. Like there's so much untapped potential and great stories. Like they could make chapters, kind of in a way, so just
I'm
structure
sorry,
wise.
you're
Okay,
a
not the way
furry
it happens.
who's buying furry clothes.
I know, right? It's just like that
Yeah.
dude, the Chainsaw Massacre, who's a
Layers
person but
upon
with a
layers.
human skin mask. That's what I
Yowzers.
got here. I don't know what that suit was for.
But I do
whatever.
enjoy your gear setup, like that helmet
Oh,
is
dude.
very stylish.
My character is very, very.
The helmet with the mask. I like it.
Yeah. The mask. They're all different. I mean, I have different outfits, and this is the outfit where I do the most damage.
Speaking of Beyond Good and Evil and True, like the concept art presentation like years ago, like 10 years or 12 years ago, it was something similar to the art design of Biomutant. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
It's appealing to me in that sense. This game. Yeah. I really like it. And this is the other setup with maximum armor, which I never used because the game just got too easy now. When I have everything on critical chance, like 80% up, like every fight is a wash, unless it's against the boss or something and it takes time, and I have very little vitality, so if I get 2 hits I die. But otherwise it's still fun to play. Yeah. It's great, actually.
Sure.
But yeah. The Square Enix thing, Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers, I mean, I think they could have adopted the structure of the structure of the story, okay? Of the Dragon Ball Budokai games. Now, hear me out. What I mean is that they could have like a sort of narrative and collective of all the great Marvel events. The game doesn't have to be. The game doesn't have to be a giant open world with this and that. It can be a bunch of really cool levels and missions that you do, because we both know that with this type of open world, unless they give it the Final Fantasy treatment, the world is just there, and you don't actually go explore Like, I'm pretty sure that they would give you a little bit of a sterile world where there's not much going on, you know, like in Destiny and stuff like
When you
that.
say the Final
Like,
Fantasy
yeah, it's
treatment,
open,
what
but
do you mean with that? With
the Final Fantasy
15
treatment, I mean that
or
they make it. No. I mean 7 remake. They
7
make it
remake? I
very
don't think it's open
detailed.
world.
No, it's not. It's not. But what I mean is that
Mm-hmm.
my point is, it's only acceptable to me if they do that, which is they
Mm-hmm.
make it very pretty all
Sure.
around you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and give you the feeling of space and depth and
Mhm.
exploring with your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that could be enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be almost better. It would be breath of fresh air more than it would be with an open world again, you know.
Mm.
Another open world. I think they could try it. I mean, more games should try that with the approach of the Dragon Ball Budokai thing, which is Dragon Ball Z huge saga, and you revisit certain missions
Yeah,
from a
that's
certain
all you
time,
can
you
do
know.
with Dragon Ball anyway. Like you do
Yeah, but
the
with
big events
Marvel, I
of
mean, it's
Dragon Ball
great
Z.
because you can explore fucking 50 years of Marvel
True.
events if you want to, the big ones,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not just
Mhm.
the recent stuff or write one from scratch just for the game when the really good stuff is already out there and
Mhm.
untapped. So, and you can have missions with the Fantastic Four, you can have missions with the Guardians of the Galaxy, like you can make a game for all of them if you want to.
Mhm.
Um, a structure you can see also when you play games, for example, like Dynasty Warriors, right?
Mhm.
It is a beat them all, but you move throughout different levels story. And if they
I
just
think
make
that's what they tried to do a little bit,
um,
but it
it's so
didn't
generic. No,
pan out.
no. F for effort. F for effort.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like, But yeah, if they
But
did
yeah.
that with like 10 different levels or 15 different levels, and it's 70
Mm.
pounds, $70 or whatever. If the game is good and deep, and
Mhm.
every level is not necessarily a level or a battlefield, but it's a
Mhm.
level that's worth exploring, you know, and that would be cool. Or do it Final Fantasy style, you know, pretty linear, but with very pretty and deep
Yeah,
background.
I think that's
Except
what
for
they
the
tried
neutral
to do.
areas.
They had big set pieces with the what do you call it? The thing that Call of Duty was famous for that changed the industry in the 2000s. These big choreographed set pieces in-game. It's not in-game cinematics. I'm blanking out on the terminology. Scripted
Stuff that's going on in
events.
the back.
Yeah.
Scripted events. Okay.
Hmm. That
I think
Uncharted and
it's-
Call of Duty kind of really pushed the industry for, right? You have two things that, like, the 2000s scripted events, I would say, that was the bar that got pushed higher in the video game industry, and then in this past decade, 2010 to 2010 to 2020, everything seemed to be open world. Everything had to be open world.
Yeah. Not a big fan of that anymore.
No, because it's
Says the
it's
guy
a
playing open
formula
world game right
that,
now, but
yeah, it's a formula that has its strengths and weaknesses, and if you just do an open
But it's
world
not a
for the
great
sake
feature
of it,
anymore.
it doesn't equate
Yeah.
to be a good game automatically. Like you have to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of that formula, and
Is it fair to make a comparison between this event, what you were talking about right now,
mm,
and back in the early 90s, in the mid 90s, when 3D was the new thing, and 2D platformers were very well refined,
mm,
and all of a sudden everybody wants to go 3D, you know?
and
I'm not talking about
platformers, and
Nintendo's.
understand
Yeah,
that.
I'm not talking about just
Yeah.
Nintendo because they did a
Yeah,
fine
yeah,
job
yeah,
with it. Okay?
Sony and
But the thing is, now everybody was chasing 3D when it wasn't actually a necessity that much because you could also make a really, really cool 2D one,
mm,
you know? And now a lot of those games are tough to play.
mm,
When the 2D ones, which might even be 3 or 4 years older than that, are a lot
Mhm.
more fun to play.
mhm.
like Super Mario World and World 2 and all that stuff is a lot more fun to play than some shitty platformer from the mid 90s, you know? 3D, I mean, just because it's using like more advanced technology, it didn't make the game better to put that feature in the game. And I think that's what kind of open worlds became towards I mean, in the last, 6-7 years. It was a great thing in the mid 2000s, like, and then who's got the biggest open world and stuff. And it was at its peak, I think, with the GTAs did that I mean, they were ahead of everybody in that sense.
Sure.
Because they made it a lot of fun. Like, it's so much fun to be in that world, right? Compared to other games.
When they did the transition from GTA to GTA 3, GTA 3, the first big 3D open world from Rocksteady. Rocksteady or Rockstar? I'm confusing the two.
Rockstar.
Rockstar, yeah. That's up. Yeah, when GTA 3 first came out, that was a pretty big game changer. But yeah,
Vice City was great. I mean, Vice City, which at the time was like, oh, it's so big, man.
Yeah. Yeah, after GTA, a lot of other games tried to follow in those footsteps.
And they're worth it. Like, for a lot of it. Skyrim was awesome, Witcher's awesome. No, open world wise, like Oblivion when it came out.
Open world to the GTA thing, because it was. When was GTA 3 actually? Because Morrowind was 2002, I believe, or 2003. Let me do a quick search while you do the dialogue. Is this like a side quest you're doing?
Yeah, it's just, at this point I don't care much.
GTA 3. 2001, so it was definitely before GTA 3, right?
It's old, huh? And 10 years later, boom, Skyrim, which is a great open world. Or Oblivion.
Morrowind was before that, and Morrowind was.
Yeah, but it wasn't like. Morrowind was open world, but
1 year after, basically.
I still
Morrowind
think
was
that
super open world.
Morrowind.
In some cases, it was even more open world than GTA 3.
No, but I mean, when you played it, it was very, because it wasn't cartoonish, the graphics and stuff. I really liked it. Like, I think it was nice, but it aged very poorly. At the time, I didn't feel like it could go far. Oblivion made a difference.
Because GTA 3, the gameplay is more action-oriented, and Morrowind has very little action. It's a lot of RPG elements.
I think that's the problem. I didn't play 20 hours.
Yeah. But like every NPC had its own life going on, and the world building in Morrowind is super deep, like super extensive, like. But yeah. Like what Skyrim brought in flow and dynamism for the series, it has lost a big chunk of role-playing depth compared to Morrowind. And I'm not being hyperbolic, like the meaty role-playing depth that Morrowind had, and probably Daggerfall before it, but that's what the Daggerfall fans say. I've never played Daggerfall.
RPGs used to be a bit heavier. Now it's like other
Some
games
still
bring
are,
RPG elements.
The dense RPG genre is definitely more niche.
PC oriented.
Also PC oriented.
In general.
Because in the larger part of the market, RPGs do better if they have a bit more action fluidity in their development. But yes.
So Square Enix.
Square Enix, it was disappointing in the sense that, well, for Final Fantasy XIV fans, it was probably good because I think they had the announcement of a new expansion or an update. I'm not entirely sure.
For Final Fantasy XIV?
It's still going on. It's, I think, still to this date, one of the biggest MMO populations. Oh, you found a new thing.
Dude, I can
Nice.
use it to fly.
Fly!
Oh,
Spread your wings, my boy.
dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Can I go up? I can't go up. I can only.
Oh, it's like the chicken in Ocarina of Time. Okay.
I can only glide. I can't go up. Fly higher. Shit, too fat.
But yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is still one of the MMOs with the biggest population. It's probably second or third in the whole MMO genre right now. World of Warcraft is still number one. But Final Fantasy
WoW
XIV
is still number one.
still, yeah. Final Fantasy XIV is still number 2 or number 3 or something like that. Like it has done like surprisingly well since they did the massive reboot of the thing, because the launch was quite rocky. But yeah, that's an entirely different topic and conversation. But yeah, they decided to close up the presentation with the reveal of a hack and slash game meant to be a prequel to the first Final Fantasy ever, or a retelling
That's
of
odd.
the origins of the villain of the first Final Fantasy. It's very odd because it takes itself way too serious in the trailer, and the character, the protagonist, just like every 5 to 7 seconds says, "I want to kill Chaos. Chaos is going to be destroyed. I hate chaos. Chaos, chaos,
I hate
chaos."
sand.
You can make a drinking game out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
There was another
And
game
the
or a
protagonist
movie like
just
that
looks
where the
very
guy just doesn't shut
generic.
up about it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No,
It's,
it looks terrible, that presentation. It doesn't look appealing at all, that game. It looks like a game 2002, maybe.
4. Okay. I see.
Maya gave me a little bit of a vibe for Dragon Guard type of thing without the dragons, but that was shitty because I was expecting like a follow-up for Final Fantasy XVI, because more than half a year ago, I don't remember when the last Square Enix presentation was, like September last year or something like that. Like Final Fantasy XVI seemed really interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. I hope they deliver, because what they showed months ago seemed very appealing to me. But nothing, zero. And I understand
Nothing
that
on Final Fantasy 16.
maybe, yeah, I understand
Yeah.
that maybe during these big events, E3, they prefer to just show some stuff they want to make revenue out of it, but they don't want to show the ace under their sleeves. They want to keep the ace for their own presentation when they don't have to compete with all the other companies, right? Because nowadays everyone is doing their Nintendo Direct instead of waiting for big events like E3.
Sure.
But at the same time, I find that stupid, because maybe only Square Enix fans will watch Square
Well,
Enix presentations, and other people who
Final
are not.
Fantasy fans,
Yeah, right.
pretty much. I mean, there's not
Other
much else.
other people who are not necessarily Final Fantasy fans, like if we're doing this example specifically, like maybe they stumble upon Square Enix presentation during E3 because they're waiting for something else, and they get hyped up about something they were pleasantly surprised to find out. So I don't understand why both Square Enix and Capcom missed out their cues on that. Like Capcom yesterday was another one that kind of like I was mildly uh, happy to see a new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories because I'm looking forward to that. But I'm probably 1 out of 10 people who is excited about that. um, but the rest of the presentation was very weak. Capcom probably even weaker than Square Enix.
Okay. Weaker.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for Square Enix also, gotta remember they released the Avengers this year, right?
Mm.
So they probably put a lot of effort into that.
Mm.
Even though then it's what it is.
Mm.
But what about Capcom? What makes you think that their presentation wasn't solid?
Because the only thing of meaty, and when I say meaty, what it was is like the bone that still had a bit of cheese and chicken bits from a plate that was already eaten. Like someone else ordered that dish, and you just stumble upon the plate that was already finished, and the bones had just 3 specks of chicken meat molecules. The rest of the show was just, yeah, we have an update for Monster Rise. That's exciting because I'm a Monster Hunter Rise player, but I guess no one else that doesn't have a Nintendo Switch is. They announced, without showing anything, an update for Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 8, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a big chunk of their presentation on Ace Attorney for Nintendo Switch. And that series is even more niche than Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it is. It's super niche.
Uh, and that was about it. Like I understand that just recently there was Devil May Cry 5, so maybe there's nothing coming from there. But they have so many other IPs.
Well, Resident Evil 4 remake would be something
That's
cool,
not happening.
but it doesn't. Yeah, but we talked about it already. It doesn't need one. But I think it is
'Cause
not
8 is
happening
filling that
soon,
at the
but it
moment.
might. Yeah, but it's too soon. But I think they will do one. I think they will do one like just 2 and 3. They might just do 4 as well.
Right.
They don't have to build the engine anymore. It's already there, so it's just mostly choreography, level design, and everything else.
Okay, Jack might
Level
join
design.
the party in a little bit. He's booting up his... Oh! He was setting up his PC 10 minutes ago, I just realized now.
PC? Why PC? Tell him to come on Xbox, otherwise the sound's gonna be terrible.
I don't think
On
he
his
has
end.
the Xbox where he
Oh,
is
he's
right
still
now.
at the other spot. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Ah, and he won't be wired either. So you can check the sound on him. No problem.
Sure.
Yeah, we need him because we want to talk about Nintendo. What about Microsoft? I heard things, but I didn't see anything.
Microsoft.
Yeah, they had a Halo, right? The multiplayer will be free.
The joint presentation with Microsoft and Bethesda. From the Bethesda side of things, for me, it was buff.
Okay, I need to rant about Bethesda for a second. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I
Why?
am so fucking offended because because like why are they still releasing Fallout 76 shit
It's
when it's been 10 years since the last Elder
because
Scrolls?
Papu,
Ugh,
they still are losing money on it because they have to
what the fucking drop
spend
it?
money to keep up the servers.
Okay, drop it
And
then.
from a business perspective, they have to still make like
Oh my fucking god. They have to
revenue
justify
from it.
even more
That's why.
losses? Like who?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so fool.
I'm not in the
Does
business
the Elder
maybe section.
Scrolls and Fallout have a different budget on their company? Like, does it work like a fucking
I don't know.
subsidiary? No, it's the same
No,
company.
no. They probably just
So
had a huge amount of money injected from Microsoft, and that's why the two new IPs they have are apparently exclusive to Xbox, Starfield and
Starfield, yeah.
Fall Red, Blood Fall, Red Fall. I forgot the title of it, but
Mhm.
it means nothing to me because every time they do cinematic presentations, for me, it's the same
Yeah.
as
Fuck
doing
off.
a short film student
It's a
festival.
picture of a Big Mac, right?
You get A
And then
for
you actually go
effort.
to
It was very
McDonald's.
enjoyable, but it doesn't tell me
Uh,
anything about the game. Um, so I don't even count that as. And unfortunately for both those IPs, it was just that. Is that the Millennium Falcon?
I know, right? This is the Ark.
The Ark?
Yes, there's a
Interesting.
spaceship, but in case shit hits the fan, we can escape the planet.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know about
I
this.
have enough people now.
You do? Oh, that's the guy from the beginning. I remember the
It
beginning.
is.
That guy. Yeah. Captain Mustard or whatever. No, out of date. Okay. Mm-hmm. Budias. Budias.
Hmm. Yeah. For me, no. Fuck off. Stop putting money on Fallout 76. Which is still broken for a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah. But
Uh,
when they have games that are uh, entirely like designed with the formula of live services, like the suits, think that is the the more worthy bet of
the what?
investment. The suits.
No,
The
they
business
think
side.
what's the best investment is on Fallout.
The
Okay,
most
yeah.
worthy
Well,
investment,
it
yeah,
is a
live
service thing,
services.
but it's still
Because it's
like,
ongoing, right?
ugh.
It's not just releasing one game and then waiting for the thing.
Yeah, but then you re-release the look. If they wanted to, they could re-release
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Elder
yeah,
Scrolls
yeah.
6 2 years after the initial release, with just
If it
some
does
bullshit
well,
HD brush, and they would still sell.
because
You know, if the
that
game is
happened with
good.
Skyrim, but it didn't happen with
Yeah.
in the same scale with Morrowind or Oblivion.
Oh, but we should get one,
So
right? Like with a, even if they do, I mean, you can get a modded Skyrim. There's an Oblivion out there that's pretty much made with the creation engine, and it's,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It's still an
it's out
ongoing
there if you
project
want to.
nowadays. You still have modders who are trying to bring Oblivion with
Uh,
the Skyrim mods,
yeah.
and same thing with Morrowind. Actually, whenever I return to my Skyrim stream, I'm thinking of doing Skyrim mods that are non-lore breaking, that are basically lore friendly
Mhm.
to the original game. And one of them is
That would be cool.
the
I would watch the shit out of that.
city of Bruma in Cyrodiil from the Oblivion game, which is right across the border between southern Skyrim. It's basically the sea in northern Cyrodiil that
Mhm.
shares a border with Skyrim. But yes, that was a uh, shameless plug-in for future plans. Oh, fine. Yes, hopefully today Nintendo's presentation will be more interesting. Like the way this E3 has been going on, uh, I don't understand why people online are so positive. Why I don't understand why the feedback is so positive for this E3 because so far it's been very luster lacking. Like it was just super super uneventful for me. Besides Elden Ring, everything
Mm-hmm.
else is just buff. I didn't need E3 at all for these things.
And that's why I don't watch it. And you do it for me. Thank you, Lolo,
Yeah, but I don't understand. Like the
for
past
quality
few
checking
years
this thing.
before COVID, the past few years, there's been up and downs, but there were some interesting presentations.
Oh, look, the heat is climbing. Uh-oh. No
Oh,
problemo. You know why no problemo?
because you're heat resistant?
I'm not. But the
You're
suit
not.
is.
Ah, the suit is. Okay. You're
Dun, dun,
carrying
dun,
a
dun, dun,
refrigerator
dun, dun,
as a
dun,
backpack,
dun.
just in case.
Just go here and then you go ahead. And you have to go anti-heat suit or heat suit or whatever it's
Hentai
called.
heat suit?
Exactly.
Mm.
Hentai Hitsu. What breed is he? He's a
Oh,
Hentai Hitsu.
wow.
Cute, isn't he?
Sure.
Hentai Hitsu. Carefully bites. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Much well.
Da-da-da. Dum,
But
dum,
yes,
dum.
let me double
Okay.
check how much time still for the
Up, and now it's
image
0.
jigger. So the Nintendo presentation is in 57 minutes. There's still an hour to go.
Oh, I thought the Nintendo presentation, you said it was in 2 hours.
It was 2 hours 1 hour ago.
But I thought you sent that message this morning.
No.
I thought you sent that at 9 a.m.
Nope.
But how the fuck? What? Hold on a minute. Let me check my messages.
Hold up a
Yeah,
minute.
whoever's watching, you're caught up in our, misunderstanding. Not my misunderstanding, actually. It's not your misunderstanding. Today, yeah, you're right. Today at 9 p.m., not 9 a.m. Okay?
Well, 9
I'm
p.m.
dumb.
for you. Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, The thing is, I know this is gonna sound terrible, but at 11,
Mm-hmm.
Portugal's playing, and I want to, you know, check how that's
Kickball.
going. Kickball, yeah.
Mm. The Alt Continent Kickball Championship.
Yeah, the kickball championship.
Says you think with the world dying, the noise is awful, but the bust craters are even worse.
So there is no Nintendo yet. Okay,
No.
terrible. I really hope something Metroid is gonna happen. If there's a new Metroid game, I will
You know,
consider buying a Switch.
after the couple presentations, including Microsoft ones, I'm starting to believe that
Says Boom's grandpa
maybe
used to be big into
for some reason they are holding out
Holding on.
lady talk they
on
died.
their
You always come with that argument,
resources.
man. You're like, they're holding out on Zelda, they're holding out on Mario,
No, no,
they're
because
holding out
in
on
the case of Nintendo, for
Metroid
example, they
for a rainy day.
they do a lot of Nintendo, or they used to, not anymore. Now it's a little bit more rare, but they are known for their Nintendo Directs. So they do presentations throughout the year, even outside of E3.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And that's what everyone is trying to copy for a while because these presentations are super effective to communicating to the consumer base what to expect and stuff. But yes, I guess both the consumer base and the shareholders to see how to test the waters, so to speak. Yes, I think they might spend a little bit of time, maybe not during the Nintendo Direct, but in the Nintendo Treehouse, because there's two different things. So there's a 40-minute presentation, which is the Nintendo Direct, and then there is a 2-hour or 3-hour event called Nintendo Treehouse, which they usually only do on E3, where they're making gameplay presentations of stuff. For example, in
That sounds better.
2016, they did for the Nintendo Direct a trailer of 1 minute 40 for Breath of the Wild, and then in the Nintendo Treehouse they showcased like 40 to 50
Nintendo
minutes
Treehouse or
gameplay.
Treehouse?
Treehouse,
Like a tree, right?
like a tree, yeah.
Lolo, check this out. Look at my look up. I can pick up this whoop and throw him at the enemy.
Mhm.
I can pick
I
up
like
whatever
that.
I want, and I have this new
Is that
power now.
telekinesis
Like
or
a
is
Sith.
that a gun?
Boom!
Bless
Did you
you.
see that?
Gesundheit. Oh yeah. Like necrotic
I'm a
damage
Sith
or
Lord
whatever.
now. Yeah, I'm a Sith Lord now. I have the cool. I just unlocked that last power because you need to have 30 of
Dark?
darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how color-coded the things are in fantasy video games and animation and stuff like that. Like, purple is either evil or poisonous, right?
Yeah.
Green
I would
is
say poison,
health
toxic,
or
but also poisonous.
toxic, yeah. Blue is ice or good.
Yeah. Water,
Red is health or death
Fire.
or fire.
damage, or in this case, critical damage.
Yeah, but there was an interesting video essay from a YouTuber that did exactly that. He spent like 20 minutes discussing how the
Colors.
language of color is understood in the video game narrative. That's interesting. Because there are things that are basically across different platforms and genres and whatnot.
I still have the mushroom power. Isn't it hilarious? And while they're in the air, I can just like throw stuff at them.
It's awesome.
Yeah. If you play
Has
this
some
with powers,
platforming
I think it
potential
can be
as
a lot
well,
of
I guess.
fun. Yeah, it does actually.
But yes. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about Nintendo because I think they have more stuff to present than the other presentations so far. Namely games that are supposed to come out this year, like No More Heroes 3, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and then they can always give us an amuse-bouche of Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the name of the sequel is. And fingers crossed Metroid Prime 4, but I'm starting to think they might hold out on Metroid Prime 4 for E3 and announce or show anything of substance in a singular Nintendo Direct instead of E3. Maybe they'll do a Direct like in August or September and they'll announce Metroid Prime 4 then. But in the Treehouse, I foresee them doing a gameplay showcase for Skyward Sword.
Next. Okay.
because they really want to sell that game, and that's
That's the one
why
we talked about the other day, right?
they're not gonna, yeah, exactly, they're not gonna announce any of the remasters or remakes before the release of Skyward Sword, because they don't want to hit,
It is a shame.
they don't want to damage the sales from Skyward Sword,
That's
because
some good e-waste there.
if they announce the other remasters or remakes, believe me, Skyward Sword is not going to sell very well. Believe me when I tell you, I got the best words, I got the best brain.
Yeah, it is a shame
Humongously
that
tremendous.
uh, it's a shame that they didn't rebuild the game to play it with the proper controller instead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the answer to that is both yes and no.
Okay, not
Yeah.
proper. It's no and no, and you know it. Okay.
You have alternatives to motion controls, but it's still not ideal.
Look at you move.
But yeah. So that is happening.
We're still waiting on the other dude.
Oh,
Is there
okay.
anybody in the chat?
So far the chat is
Quiet.
very clean, very empty, very sterile. I filled it in a little bit. Yes. That's what I gotta say about E3 so far.
So I haven't missed out on anything, pretty much.
I don't think so. For you as an Xbox player, I'd recommend watching the Halo thing. Even though I would have assumed that at this point they would have more stuff to show than what they did. Atomic Heart definitely picked up my curiosity, and I think you will enjoy that game a lot, since you were always more FPS kind of guy, and that looks Atomic Heart looks very
When's the
interesting.
release date? Next year?
I don't know.
They
what?
don't.
Atomic Heart?
Atomic Heart. They didn't say anything.
Atomic.
Is it like a full game or is it like a
It's a full game.
face-
Atomic.
full? Okay.
And it looks very, very good. I really recommend you to get on that. No release date so far.
Okay. We'll definitely look into it.
It has a post-apocalyptic vibe like Fallout, but it
Okay.
seems to play more like a dynamic FPS like Wolfenstein or
Right.
not Doomish, more like Wolfenstein-ish, I would say. Or what's
But it's the
other
same
one?
engine for
Half-Life.
Wolfenstein and Doom. But okay. You mean like the weapons are not all spaced up and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, I see.
Yeah, the art direction is reminiscent of Fallout type of thing, but instead of being a post-nuclear in
So
an American
okay.
setting,
Yes,
it's
it's
a post-apocalyptic
bionuclear
nuclear on a Soviet setting.
In Soviet
contamination
setting, yeah,
concentration
I thought so. The whole atomic
probably
thing.
still strong. Fine time to be outside.
I've never been here, by the way.
So is this like radioactive or toxic or
It's toxic, yeah,
it's
biohazard
toxic?
area.
Don't you know that you're toxic? Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry.
Ah, plastic scrap like that always comes in handy.
But yes. So you're spotting
Ah,
a
shit.
hazmat
Oh,
suit.
this is a very advanced area.
It is? Is the enemy
Yeah.
very above your level?
Yeah, but it's not a challenge.
It's not a challenge, of course not.
Not a challenge.
Mwahaha.
Yeah. But I am enjoying this. I'm almost at the end of the game,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I want the second run.
You've been
Like, I'm doing
playing
just
this
side quests for the fuck of it.
consistently since
I know.
since
I
when?
am
It's been a
surprised.
while, like a week and a half or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I switch between games all the time. It's always a
Mhm.
constant buffet, you know, of
Like
things
this
that
is a
don't
unique example, but in the
match.
worst case scenario, he takes 5 years to complete a game, 5 to 6 years.
Some games I've never completed even, you know. But to complete a game, yeah, I think that's the longest I took between when I started and when I
Mm.
completed. Most likely, The Witcher. I completed it
Yes.
recently.
You
This man
finished
is
it.
my witness.
You haven't completed it, not
I
even
finished.
close.
No, no, not even close. I finished the main quest and I have hundreds of hours on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to chastise you.
No, I was just thinking, damn, yeah. But not just, yeah, that's a factor too. Because I
Mhm.
play different games all the time. But The Witcher was different because I wanted to keep it, I wanted, it was something that I played seasonally every year. But then one year I skipped it, which was last time I played
Mhm.
before I finished it. This year was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And and before that I would play a few hundred hours every year, you know,
Mhm.
just kind of like a TV show in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it went for the most part. But I still think that I still think that it was worth it.
Sure.
That it took so long, that it was always on my mind like that, that I
Mhm.
never got sick of it. I know that The Witcher was always there for me, so it's okay
Mhm.
for me to get excited about other games
Mhm.
and to start playing other games. I feel that way also about Doom, for example. I wasn't when I got the Doom Eternal. I wasn't in a rush to finish it, but I was happy to play it when I wanted to,
Mm.
when I was in the mood for it.
Mhm.
It's a game that I love. I still haven't well, the new DLC, ça me gonfle un petit peu actually. I'm a bit disappointed with its software, with how the new DLC is. Ancient
Oh.
Gods 1 and 2.
Okay. Why is that?
I'm almost done with the Ancient Gods Part 1 because just because just because you're going to add more enemies and make it extra difficult,
Mhm.
like adding enemies, not different types of enemies, just like adding more enemies, right?
Mhm.
And a couple of different, like one new type of enemy as well.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean it's gonna be doomer, you know. Well, the quality of Doom is not just having more enemies and more carnage and stuff. It's also the level design,
Mhm.
where the secrets are hidden, the variety
Mhm.
of enemies that come at you at different points of the game, the feeling of progression that you have, and And this DLC kind of feels a little bit. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. But where it annoyed me was just that at one point I was playing and I got stuck at a level that was insanely difficult, and everybody on the internet agrees, except the people who play with
Is it a
Coke and
Gladiator
Monster Energy
type
drink.
of DLC where basically they ramp up the difficulty by just adding a higher number of enemies?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And the type. No, but in one of them the level was really, really bad. And it was
is
just
also
difficult for
my
the sake of
least
being
favorite
difficult.
type of DLCs, definitely.
Yeah. And I was a bit disappointed with that. Maybe the Ancient Gods Part 2 is better. But so far, the last third of Part 1 is not the quality I expected. I'm gonna finish it, I mean, I'm super close to finishing it, actually. I'm maybe 20 minutes away from finishing it. But it didn't, I was a bit disappointed, that's all. It's not what I expected.
Sure.
And that's my bad, right? But it's still amazing, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that when I get the Doom itch, great, I can go back into it. But there was one point in a level, one of those special events within a level that you have to like unlock a key and you go to an arena and you shoot a bunch of enemies, which is honestly it's my favorite part when playing Doom in general. But this one was just poorly done, Like I had to at one point I considered lowering the difficulty and face the dishonor, but I didn't. But it was insane. It was crazy. Yeah. I have to slap his friends now.
If you don't, they'll die for sure.
Hey, he joined the party.
So,
Hey, man.
Says they need.
Oh, there's mad echo.
There's always
No, this is like I can hear myself in the back, but it's okay. No,
it's okay.
dude, don't go. You're on the PC at home, right? Right?
It's
No,
basically
don't worry.
you enter
You're on the
and
PC at
we
home.
become 5 to 6 people. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Okay. It doesn't sound like it on the stream though.
Okay. That's
Really,
good.
on the stream, it's still
And it's just
fine, right?
Sounds fine on the stream to
Check
me.
Lolo. Okay, then it's fine.
Or maybe not.
We'll just have to take a bit longer breaks with it. I don't know. Lolo, check please.
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
I'm slapping this guy's friends. Why? Why are we slapping him?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, I have to wake them up. Oh, okay, they're junkies. You have to get
No,
them
you're
up.
slapping
Go
them
to
because
work.
they're junkies?
No, they're asleep because they're junkies.
Or
I was
are
like,
they
why are they
junkies
passed out on the
because you're
floor?
slapping them?
Probably. I mean, they're hooked. Like, more! I can't use this. Interesting.
Last
Ooh.
night's episode that I was watching, that I finished this morning of Critical Role. The part Critical Role, if anyone is interested, is a Dungeons and Dragons series that's been going on for 6 to 7 years now, and it's still ongoing. They just finished the second campaign not so long ago, and I just got wind of the series a couple of months ago, and I'm completely obsessed with it, and I'm binge watching it. So that's the preface of this topic. And it's basically a bunch of voice actors who party out, and because they're voice actors, the role playing that they do sometimes is just hilariously good. It's phenomenal. And yesterday's episode, they basically arrived into a kind of Middle Eastern fantasy type of city, and one of the dudes, the bard, obviously tried to buy drugs out of the streets, like spice. and it was like
Hey,
a
skooma.
whole, like a 2 hour like adventure, and he got scammed like 400 gold to just buy a fancy version of oregano. It wasn't even real drugs. Oregano.
And that's something that the dungeon master did.
It
I
was
assume,
so
right?
good. Yeah, we tried to ingest the thing. Can I burn it? Can I sniff it? Can I? It's just.
Oh, we're good now, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
actually,
perfect.
it's good.
It's fine. Click on include your audio on the stream. Okay, it's perfect, man. We did it.
Awesome. I don't know what you did, but good. That was a very exasperated
s- maybe
sight.
sold a
That's
toe
beautiful word.
For
yes.
better Wi-Fi.
Oh no, no. Warum? Was passiert? Oh, right.
Dark makes a fine place to hide.
Oh, the bites are back?
It was the house, it was not the farm?
It's your house?
Holy shit.
No.
Oh no, man.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to
so
go through
sorry,
that, buddy.
man.
That sucks.
No, the new place.
Okay, it was pretty awesome.
Could it be that it was the bed that you got? Like the old bed?
It could be a multiple
It could be so many things.
things.
Slap. 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 And slap.
And I don't know if it's necessarily the things that came from London, unless there were
Yeah,
boxes that
could be
were
anything.
unopened. But the weekend I was there, I didn't catch anything, as far as
Dude,
I'm
but-
aware of. So
Fleas, the fleas could just have been in the apartment the whole time, and when the temperature, no, fleas or whatever, the whatever you have there, they could have stayed in the apartment the whole time, and now that the summer's coming, the eggs are hatching.
so the
You know,
bed
or
bugs
they're not
did
dormant anymore.
bite you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Isn't there an expression? Don't let the bed bugs bite you. Never mind, sorry. I'm a terrible person. Sure. Sure.
Wouldn't stand another hour of bed.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I slept there one night. I became a fucking bug.
Damn.
Really? On your own couch?
On my couch, man. I was like,
Every X months or so, like not even a year, something happens to you, man. Like I feel
Oh,
terrible
every
for
3
you.
months, every couple of months, something new. The last.
My
year.
heart sinks a little bit.
Right.
I'm so sorry for you.
Well, this is more like major annoying, right?
Yeah.
Thank God it's not something
Yeah, but you can
horrible,
stack
but
up
it's just like it's
so
so,
much annoyance
annoying.
that it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so annoying.
it's just the timing as well.
Yeah.
Dude, when it rains, it
Absolutely.
pours. You know how it is. When it rains, it pours. No, when it rains, it pours.
I thought you said when there's rain, there's
Well, no. It's raining hard.
Yeah, you should write the whole book with
Hallelujah, it's raining hard.
sayings and expressions that don't make any sense like that.
Can you imagine? It starts raining and someone knocks at your door. Hi. I'm like, what? It's raining outside. Can I come in?
Mm-hmm.
I'm all wet.
already like soaked, transparent white shirt, and
T-shirt contest wet.
pressing
But hey, could be worse. I might be jinxing it by saying this. Hey, could be worse.
Don't
you know.
magnetic power karma like that. Do not
You know,
do not tempt the gods.
these bites I'm getting, like, they're not just normal bites. They're kind of bites that stay with you for weeks.
Okay.
The first initial bites I had on my hands from
You
the
look like you
bites,
got
I'm
chicken
still
pox.
having
Really?
them. Yeah. I feel like they're leaving scars on my hands.
What an exciting place to
You're gonna look like a Deadpool.
You slapped
Like
all
an
over.
like an
Wish
avocado.
everyone was as smacky as you.
Oh, I have to order
Indeed.
some food.
How you boys doing? How's your life?
We
Today
good,
I
man.
ate
We
a
yeah.
moderately expensive burger that was actually good.
Nice. Better
I
be good,
found-
right?
I'm basically
Um,
like spotting all the places around my neighborhood. Like it's an excuse to just walk for a good portion of the high sun hours. My English is very good. It's delightful, and yeah, just find some good spots hopefully. And today was a good spot. They had artisanal beer from Porto and stuff.
artisanal beer from Porto.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what
the
was it
burger
like?
was nice.
What kind of beer was it?
Lager beer.
Lager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Genau.
Walaga laga lo. Walaga laga lo. Laga laga lo lo. You know. Oh, oh.
Sorry, I apologize.
Oh no, that's fine. You're allowed.
Also, every night, so
Ooh. Okay.
it's true.
That is exhaustive, yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been for good reasons, but still,
Sure.
Mm.
nonetheless, my life. My life.
Your life. Are you going to see the Nintendo Direct, mate? What are you hoping for?
It's in a few minutes.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna watch that shit.
Cool.
I'm not expecting anything, but I want to see it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was super excited a couple of days ago, but after the couple of presentations we had so far, I'm forcing myself to nudge my excitement down a little bit. Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking donut pillow. So you're still like what, 3/4 of the game?
Dude, I'm doing so many sides, so much. I could have finished the game already if I wanted to. I'm doing a
Did
lot
you
of
kill
side stuff.
the 4 big bosses?
I don't know where the fourth world eater is. Maybe I have to go to talk to a character. Let's check that out.
Oh, you're
actually.
missing the 4th one.
Yeah, I'm missing the fourth one. Like, it doesn't tell me where it is. Look. It's not telling me where the fourth world eater is. Maybe I have to do something else first. Like I have to see there's the Jumbo Puff. There's the Hoof Puff. There's the... Where's the other one in the archipelago? Ah, there was this one here. Porky Puff. So where's the last one?
I
Is it
don't know,
here,
bro.
perhaps? Do I have... Maybe I have to go all the way here. I have not explored this area very well, actually. Can't fast
There
travel
you go.
anywhere. Hmm. Okay, fuck it. Let's go.
Dude,
Ugh.
Lawrence,
Yeah,
is this one like massively thunderstormy right now?
not at all.
Fuck.
Super good weather.
I guess it's up north.
Mhm.
It's like 33 degrees here, but it's like thundering and raining and
Hmm.
Welcome to my life.
30 degrees
For 4
thunderstorm
months a
is
year.
quite something, yeah.
Ah, dude. It's so cool, man. Like, it's a free light show from nature. It's amazing. It's better than anything you can pay for. So powerful. Wow. It's amazing.
A couple of years ago in Ealing, I remember Jack just walking into the garden during a thunderstorm, opening his arms high up with the lightning
Bring
going
it on,
Yeah,
motherfucker!
I probably said something along the lines of, "Smite me!"
It's a fine way to run.
something like that.
Were
yeah.
you holding a metal rod while you were doing it?
No, just his opens wide open,
You
his
should've.
arms wide open.
That's still what I do here.
Yeah. Jesus.
Bro, I don't know why. I don't know there is truck.
Hmm.
I like it.
Interesting.
Lightning is my girl. What can I say?
Mm. But yes.
Yeah. Yeah, my girl.
Welcome to my parents' house.
My man is some snackies. Bet you're feeling horny now.
Back in the days, there were things here. Now it's all gone.
That's my grandma's basset, huh? Such a little rascal, aren't you, my friend? Yeah.
Lols.
Right on.
I'm curious to see what it's like when you're 80.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And didn't dare to say. No, don't say that. No. Hmm.
I only have, I think, one person in my family like that made it. My great grandmas and my current grandma made it to past 80. Otherwise, everybody's like late 60, early 70s, maybe if they're lucky. Yeah.
It's that Portuguese lifestyle, bro.
Yeah.
Hmm. Not that I have very healthy
Be
lifestyle,
something. Well, it's not too unhealthy, you know. Everything they eat is natural. It's just not the best for you.
Yeah, natural fried fat, sure.
Natural fried fat, natural wine, natural cheese,
Mhm.
natural tobacco,
Mhm.
natural coffee,
Exactly.
natural salt, natural grease, natural fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all natural, man. Delicious too, sure. All worth it though, I hope. I mean, otherwise,
Sure.
where's the meaning? Where's the point?
In Portuguese, I don't know if it makes the same, if it has the same meaning in English, but there is a difference between being alive and living, type of thing. And even living in Portuguese has sometimes two meanings, viver e viver. And yeah, in general, Portugal is a good place for the positive
Enjoying
meaning.
such things.
Yeah, the enjoyment of living. Yeah. Not making a living, definitely not. That is extremely difficult and problematic at the moment. But yes.
Damn it.
You got so many bio points. Spend it.
Já começa!
What do you have
Why
there?
aren't you
Show me.
improving? Why aren't you improving your bio
What's under
points,
that
man?
skirt?
Why don't you... I'll show you why. I'll show you why I don't care for bio points. Hold on a moment.
Because the powers are not
I just gotta do
interesting.
something real quick. Yeah, the other ones are more interesting. Hold on. I messed up. What happens when you distract me with this shit? There we go.
Hold on, can you feel it? Did that say Pikachu backpack? I know Pichu backpack. Huh.
Okay, you wanna see why? Mutations, biogenetics. This is the only thing that would be fun to do. You see, the turtle form?
Turtle form. Do it!
And most of them I didn't have it because I was saving. But
Saving for what?
it's just, I'm also like, I'm saving it for when I want to really. But we can put this one if you want. Okay, see, turtle form, buff. There we go. We have more power.
Yay!
Right. You cool?
Yeah.
Whee! Okay, up,
Awesome.
up.
A level thing. I don't
I don't know.
understand.
Oh, now you have regrets? Like all those points
it's
for
not
the
my
turtle
game.
thing?
I
How
don't
is that a
have
high level
regrets.
thing?
I'm just pushing you to do stuff. I'm never gonna do it myself.
It didn't matter where I spent it.
Like a sliding ability, I would have assumed to be like the first one or the second one to get. I don't
Yeah, I
understand
thought
why
so
this
too,
is so
but
expensive for an ability.
I think it's so you can gain speed or momentum, maybe? I don't know.
Sure. So can you go uphill with that power as well, or just downhill?
Nah, I don't think so. Let's try.
Sliding
Can't.
upwards.
Only goes down.
No, okay. That would be funny.
Yep.
Well,
Because there's only 4
I
spots,
apologize.
you know.
I pushed you into
Nah,
doing
it's
something.
fine. Because there's only 4 spots, you know, and I already had my fill with the ones I like using.
Mhm.
So I wasn't very interested in what it had to offer.
Mhm.
I might change the one that makes a block of dirt rise from the ground,
Sure.
but otherwise, you know. But I'm saving it for later. For when I get, I usually save those perks and stuff for 2 reasons. One,
Saving yourself
for when I
after
need
wedding.
Huh?
Yes, yes, I understand.
No, not like that. It's for when I really need it, like so I can feel a proper improvement on. For example, if I'm stuck at some point and I know I have all these perks that will allow me to change my playstyle more significantly than just 1 or 2 points to adapt to something better for that situation. So I save it for a rainy day, but also I also save it for when I get bored of what I currently have. And now if I want to change playstyles, I can, because I have all
Sure.
those points that I can spend anyway.
Sure.
It's the thing, you know, in games, you realize a lot of them
Yeah.
It's kind of the same mentality behind this.
Mm-hmm.
Time to upgrade
You know
your
what?
server.
The
This
game's
is
like,
high
no, you
speed,
can use it.
and there's an
No, 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 I
upgrade
get
bench
you.
floating up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Uh, I
Nothing
understand.
here has ever known the cold.
So we have to go more east. Oh, dude, by the way, I unlocked a jet ski for the water. It's pretty cool. So that whole archipelago area becomes a whole lot more fun. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It was nice.
Sorry, I'm laying down, guys.
It's okay.
Day, what a couple of days.
Yeah, man. Sounds like it.
Week. What am I even saying?
Very existential right now. Huh?
Like, bro, you're young. You can still do so much. I'm like, bitch, it's a fucking carnival. I'm beating the fucking
uh,
I just want to be left the fuck alone. I just want to be Ebenezer Scrooge from fucking Christmas Tale. People come up and like, you could give money to the orphans.
Nah, fuck the orphans.
I'm like, so let them die. Increase the surplus population.
Look what I got, Peter. I unlocked this cute bat.
it's it's basically the chicken from Ocarina of Time. It doesn't go up; it only goes down.
Yeah. But still.
That's cute.
Nah, come on, man. Look at him.
When I played it
Yeah,
It's worth it.
I have a couple of games like that on my
Cause
library as
you
well.
already bought it. So, yeah.
Child of
What are
Light.
you saying, Lolo?
I have a couple of games like that on my library that I've either barely scratched the surface or not touched at all. Like Child of Light is one of them. I have
That's
it
a
in my
good one.
library. I've never touched it.
This store
I
a
know,
beautiful
that's why I
game.
have it, but I never started again. Undertale, I have it, never started again.
I have that problem with Undertale as well. Whoops. And I know a lot about the game already. Not a lot, but I mean, for someone who's never played, I know enough. Whoops. You know, because people talk about it so much.
Yeah.
because it is so great.
I will get there eventually. I just
Exactly. I have it on my PC. It's also on Game Pass too, isn't it?
past week, the week before that, finished Hollow Knight and Hyper Light Drifters. So I really wanted to finish those two indies before I moved on to other indies. And,
I don't know if they added it on the Xbox as well. They added it once really big to the Game Pass.
true that. If anything,
Yeah, I saw
on the,
right
the
now.
Xbox presentation was very exciting for the Game Pass.
Then I'm gonna check later,
It's possible that this.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that I
Rising
know
Dragon.
about.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
dragon. Like a
Mhm.
dragon, right? Or something like that.
Like a dragon.
That's really nice that
for
they
the
added.
very first time. Um.
Come on, little bat, where
Yes.
are you? Where is the little
Alright.
bat? Oh, here she is, inside the mountain.
In 10
Beautiful.
minutes, I'm jumping ship.
What? Why are you jumping ship in 10 minutes?
Because Nintendo.
Yeah, the
is
Nintendo
gonna-
Direct.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we can do if you guys want, we can do a just chatting stream.
I was thinking more private,
More private,
just to
sure.
be comfortable, but I wouldn't be opposed to do a streaming watch through if you want to do it. I just think we don't have a big enough following to warrant that kind of. But yeah, no, yes, that's fine. We can do that if you
We
want.
have enough, don't you? This is so
It's not-
disrespectful for our like 60 or 70 followers total for all of us. So disrespectful. You don't value their, input and their time.
Of course.
Shame on you, buddy. Shame on you, buddy.
They do?
They are, yeah, exactly. It's true. They got a kink going on.
There's, yeah. Step on me, daddy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Step on me.
Meanwhile, I was actually going east on this thing, and then I got distracted by you morons, and I ended up going to
Sure.
the side quest,
We are at fault, definitely.
going away from the place I wanted to go in the first place. Something that puts me out of myself. Yes? Shush, I'll always blame you. Something
If you
that
have
bothers
nothing
me a
nice
little
to
bit
say,
here.
don't say anything at all.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
that's Bambi,
Check this
isn't
out.
it?
I have something not nice to say. You can't put a marker on the map, like on a random location. You can't. Like, there's no fucking like. It fucking sucks. Cause sometimes you just want to go somewhere specific and you have to keep checking the map.
Hmm.
Shit, man. Ho 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 ho. No, I know there's a compass, but when you go to a place full of hills and shit where you have to go around and all that, it can be,
Hmm.
annoying. Fuck no. Fucking nerds. Were you?
I
No,
could
right?
have been.
Thank God.
There were a couple of moments where my mom tried to
I didn't
convince
wanna
me
get-
to enroll into the scouts. Back
Okay,
then.
and how many times were you touched?
And it's
And
What?
tripoté in the
yes,
really.
the image.
Then,
Let me check on the sound. The sound as well.
The sound as well is all over the place.
Just a few moves left. Some
It's
Was that-
cooking.
Lamp down. Mm.
So is the record the like then?
Yeah, in 5-6 minutes. So I guess if we wanted, we could conclude this thing over here. I don't know if from
My food. Sorry, Fans.
yes, we assumed it would be food, and I made a joke that if you would ever become a vampire, you would live not long at all because you would order so much food and eat the food delivery guys that any vampire hunters would track you down very quickly.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It's very, very probable.
Mhm.
Mm.
So whatever you do, don't become a vampire.
No, if we're stranded somewhere
Mhm.
on an island or something, you guys gotta kill me first.
its message is getting on.
You do. No, you have to. You have to kill me
If we
first.
could. Exactly. Exactly.
In my sleep, use technology, like put a stick in my ear or something. I
Even
don't know.
then,
find a way, cause I will get hungry real quick, and I'll
Your
probably try to
autopilot
eat you
would
guys way
kick in.
before it's necessary. Come on, it's the only way, guys. I love you guys. I don't want you to die.
Unless you were a small child of Papu, Jack could never kill you.
Cause you'd have to.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to. Just pretend it's someone you don't like. Easier that way. The greater good.
Okay.
Exactly.
Whenever you want to conclude this, I'll.
Yeah,
be
let's
going,
conclude this. We're gonna do. I'll stream again tomorrow.
I'm about to
probably.
conclude.
Oh, concluding! Oh, conclude! Everybody, thanks for watching. Whoever did, we're gonna conclude.
I'm gonna pray. 10-year-old.
Plastic scraps
They're hilarious.
forever, but maybe we can make something out of it.
Michelle, get over here. They're making no impression on me.
I have to deal with this bullshit. Ay. Every day. They don't take anything seriously. So unprofessional. Fucking amateurs. Which is, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we do love it, don't we? Ay. Super. So, this is it. Go watch the Nintendo Direct. It's live now. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
If you want to, I'm not your mom. You do what you want.
No, Dude, speaking of what we were talking 5 minutes ago, my food just arrived. It's looking at me right now. There's
Oh, yeah,
like
that is important. I
rare
agree.
beef just staring at me, you know.
Yeah.
Devil's gaze. So
Definitely
I will
don't neglect it. Sure.
indulge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give it some love.
So
Some TLC.
everybody, thank you so much for watching. Jack, you joined late, but late's better than never. Awesome. And come find us at Jack and Papu on YouTube. Go to Dagon Keldrum on YouTube and on Twitch. More content coming to YouTube tomorrow. So take care, guys. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.